thank you so much for agreeing to meet to talk about the fact that the PHA, the People's Health Alliance in the United States, has been here now for 3 years. We started in May of 2023, and I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. You've been an inspiration, you've been a mentor. I also consider you a friend at this point.
Same.
And the fact that you actually came to the United States one day and I was able to meet with you in person, that was great. It was so nice to have
It
lunch
really
with you.
was.
Yeah.
And you've got family that are from near where I live.
Yes, my family was from Preston in the UK. So, yes.
Yeah,
Um,
we were
it,
meant to meet, Linda.
we were absolutely, I think that we may have worked together before in a different reality. I think
I
that's
think you're
quite
right.
possible. Yeah.
I think you're right. Absolutely. Well, it's an absolute pleasure to be here, as always. We always have a good catch up, don't we? And we've just turned 4 years in the UK with PHA, and you're approaching 3 years, and yeah, it's a good time to catch up and see what's going on either side of the pond.
Hmm. Yes. So I'll say a little bit about the 3 year journey because it hasn't always been easy. There's definitely been some challenges. It's taken tenacity on both of our parts to follow our dream here, to follow our vision for what we would like to create. I heard the interview was done with Pam Gregory in 2022, I think
Mm-hmm.
April of 2022. And at that point was really looking for something to inspire me, to give me a sense of purpose, to give me something to feel like my life had a little more meaning. You know, I've been a clinical social worker for 30 plus years. I have a private practice. I had a private practice at that point, but I'd had to give up my office because of what was happening in the world. And it was we were struggling. So
Yeah.
hearing what you and the people that founded the People's Health Alliance with you were doing really it just uplifted me and gave me a sense of purpose. And I knew right away that that was something that I wanted to get involved with. There wasn't really ever any doubt about that.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the reason for that is because I really started to work on this years and years and years ago. When things started to change in the United States with healthcare. And I didn't like the way that things were going and couldn't quite get other people, colleagues, other professionals, administrators to see things the way I was seeing them.
Mm.
People seemed to be somewhat complacent, I guess, about what was happening. And I didn't think that managed care was a good thing for the United States healthcare system. Still don't.
Mm-hmm.
But that was in the 1990s, probably. So honestly, I feel like I was waiting for this. Like I kept saying to myself and anyone else who would listen, there's going to have to be, the people are going to have to take this back at some point.
Absolutely.
And when you said that that was your plan, I was like, okay, I'm definitely on board. And then you said that you were getting a lot of attention from people in the United States, and so I started to look for that on Telegram, and I did see that there was a lot of people from the United States that were asking about it. But everyone was looking for someone else to initiate the movement. And so after, I think it was by August of 2022, I realized, Linda, you may be the one who's going to initiate this, which was quite surprising to me at that point, because although definitely wanted to join the movement, I didn't necessarily want to lead the movement. But I realized that, well, it may be that if you don't do it, who is going to do it? And so
And I think that's proven to be the case 3 years later.
Yeah, I think it probably has been proven to be the case. So I started holding Zoom meetings in the United States and just said, I'm here. I'm really interested. I love what I'm seeing happening in the United Kingdom. And is anybody else interested in talking about that? And gradually people started to join the Zoom meetings.
Mm.
There was there were a couple of people who got really committed to coming to the Zoom meetings. And so we decided that we were the core team. And we, as I said, we launched our website and announced ourselves to the world in May of 2023. And then things got a little tricky. People started to get disillusioned, a little burned out, not sure that they really wanted to commit to this long term. We tried to start regional networks, and people were identified in different parts of the country because this is a
Mhm.
very large country.
Mm.
I Googled one time, what state is the size of the United Kingdom? And it turns out it's Louisiana. Um, so geographically, you're
Yeah,
in a country about the size of Louisiana, and I'm
yeah,
not.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
50 states. Um,
It's very different because, yes, we're in a small country. We're all living on top of each other. So I suppose that connection is somewhat easier. I mean, we've got our friend Anna Carson in Australia, haven't we? And I think that's a lot bigger than the US, isn't it?
mhm,
And there are less people, so they're even more
mhm,
spread out. And I
mhm,
think that's where the challenge comes, isn't it?
mhm. Yeah. So we actually needed to recreate ourselves in 2025, which we have now done. And we renamed ourselves the People's Health Alliance of North America. We decided to go even bigger, despite what I just said. We felt that it was important to include Canada and Mexico in what we were doing. I had worked with some people in Canada along the way. Seems like they kind of went in a different direction, and it didn't seem like anyone was really sort of spearheading the movement in Canada anymore. So I said,
Yeah,
well, okay, we'll welcome people from Canada as well. And we don't have a large representation from Mexico at this point, but we're definitely open to it. And,
yeah,
each country has their own health system, which is, not run the same way. But I think that the principles, the philosophy of creating healthy communities fits wherever you are. And I've really,
absolutely.
and in meeting all the people that I've met in doing this and networking, I'm actually quite taken by the fact that the issues are so similar across the
Yeah.
globe.
Well, it's been a global demise, hasn't it, on health? It's been a global onslaught and the removal of our autonomy for a number of years, and that's not by mistake that it's everyone's gone in
Right.
tandem. So yeah, these are global issues that we face, and therefore, and we've said this for a long time, Linda. Each of these issues we've tackled mental well-being at some point, and again, it's a global issue. So isn't it wonderful if you've got groups, like-minded groups around the world that can work together and share their expertise and share their knowledge
Mm-hmm.
and come together and look for the solutions rather than we try and do it on our own. And that's it, isn't it? It's all about collaborating, coming together, connecting, and looking for solutions.
How did you come to the mission statement that you have now? Because I know I've seen a lot of different variations of the mission.
I think, for us, we're 4 years in, and this is about scalability. So our mission is to inspire or empower 10 million people to take back control of their health. And it's always been our mission to empower people to take back control, and to do that by creating healthy, connected communities around the UK. But I think and that's been happening. That's been happening for 4 years, which was amazing. But we feel that we're often still in this echo chamber to an extent, and I think by sticking a figure on there, this is our aim, and we believe that that 10 million is the tipping point.
Okay.
So we work towards that, because at that point, if we can achieve that,
Hmm.
then it won't become
It'll
something unusual. It's,
it'll be more
oh,
like the snowball
wow,
rolling down the hill instead of pushing it up the hill.
constantly pushing it up. And, so we've got to shift that control, haven't we, from the state and big pharma, and bring it back to the individual, which I believe we are doing, but we can do it and encourage more people and make ourselves more seen and heard. When people can see, oh, I know such a body that's part of the PHA, and it's amazing, and this is what they're doing. I think that tipping point comes around the 10 million. I
Yeah.
think people, when you have a mission, you need a goal, don't you, in that? As in, if you can quantify it, it's more tangible.
Right.
Because for a long time, people are saying, I don't quite get it. What are the PHA about? And I'm sure you've had that numerous times,
Yes.
Linda.
Yes. Yes.
Whereas this is quite direct, and, 10 million people, empower them to take control of their health.
Mm. Yeah.
So I think it helps people understand us a little bit more.
Yeah. I think that it has been difficult to figure out what my elevator speech is in explaining what it is that we're attempting to do. We talked about this a little bit the other day, and I really loved what you said, which is we're not trying to put a Band-Aid on it or put our finger in the dike or provide actual services to people who are in trouble. We're actually trying to change things so that people aren't in that kind of predicament as often
Absolutely.
are now. And I love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's about people have to understand that nobody's coming to save them.
Right.
We save ourselves, and the way we do that is by coming together and looking for solutions. We don't want to fix a broken system, to your point about the finger and the dike. We don't want to do that, because that system does not work. It does not create healthy communities. So we need to look for the solutions, and
Right.
we do it ourselves, and we do it from the bottom up. This is a grassroots movement, and I can see behind you, although not the top of it, Linda, but this is for the people, by the people, and that's the important part. It's not for a few people to do the work. It's for all of us. We've all got something to give. We've all got something to offer. We may think, what can I do? Well, it's the ripple effect, isn't it? So what you can do is get involved, bring whatever skills you've got. Look, we've got loads of admin needs doing that a small number of us just can't do everything. So everybody's got something to bring to the table, and it's ours. It's not PHA's. Everything we have created is for the people. So I'm sure you feel that, please get involved.
Yeah,
Everybody.
there's a couple of things I wanted to say about that. One is that I think we who have dedicated ourselves to joining this movement have worked hard to take back our own health care, our own health journeys, and really know from personal experience that the only way we're going to get healthy in the way that we'd like to be healthy is to take that power back and realize that it starts with each one of us. I've got a whole team of different people that I work with in order to stay healthy myself, and people to understand that health isn't outside of you. It's not something that someone is going to do for you. It's something that someone will be willing to do with you, but not for you. And the other
Absolutely.
thing is that the community is so important. You know, we know how debilitating it is for people mentally and physically to have no social network.
Yeah,
Um, and that having a community that supports you to find the way to stay healthy, to help you find the tools to stay healthy, to inspire you to stay healthy. It's, you know, having
absolutely.
going for a walk with a friend as opposed to going for a walk by yourself. Both things can be good. I like going for walks by myself sometimes, but going for a walk with a friend
Yeah,
when you don't feel like going for a walk by yourself, or
yeah.
you don't have the motivation, it just makes such a big difference.
Absolutely. I think people have realized, we live in a fear-based society, don't we? It's the propaganda that, and I think there's been so much of it that, it's woken people up to an extent that something isn't quite right. And part of that equation of isolating people, we've seen a complete erosion of third places over the last 3 or 4 decades, and that's by design. So isolate people, introduce the fear-based propaganda, and people lose their, the sovereignty that they've got because they're living in fear. And I think that people are now. I think a certain event, over the 2020, 22, 21, 22 has helped a lot in making people realise that this is not right. And, the PHA provides that, empowers people by providing education. It may not be for everybody, but hey, come and have a look and see what resonates. So it's just opening people up to different, to alternative forms of healing. But probably most importantly, it's about prevention, isn't it? And it's health of mind, body, and spirit. And these are the things. I mean, certainly the spirit element of health is missing in our so-called health systems that our countries have.
Yeah. Part of my background is I was lucky enough to go to a graduate psychologist who had studied with Carl Jung at the Jung Institute, and he always included spiritual health as part of mental health. He never made a distinction
Absolutely.
between the two, and that I think is part of what concerned me as I saw things going in such when mental health was called behavioral health, it's not just about people's behavior. It is about people's behavior to some extent, but it's about their psyche. It's about their soul. It's about their spirit. It's about having a meaning and a purpose to their lives and feeling
Absolutely.
like they're living a life that they're happy to be living. So yeah, that's a big part of this. It really is. And another thing about the the way that things have gone, one of the things that I hear sometimes is that we're against something or we're fighting something. And no, that isn't the philosophy. If things are going to fall apart and continue to fall apart as they seem to be doing, we want to be there as the sort of the safety net and to pick up the pieces and to create a model that's sustainable and viable and
Absolutely.
and going to work. We're not trying to fight. I love the quote from Buckminster Fuller, where he says, don't waste your time fighting the reality as it is. Create a new system, create a
That's
new
exactly it.
model that makes the old one obsolete.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It's
closer to what we're doing.
It is, and you know, I mean, we'll probably get a bit deeper if we talk about reality, because my reality is not that. My reality is building the new. So you know, it's a mindset shift, isn't it? It's understanding that your thoughts create your reality. So if what you're doing is you're listening to the fear, you're switching the TV on, you're listening to the news, then that's your reality. Mine is connecting with people in communities, either digitally or face to face, learning from each other, growing nutritious food, you know, and coming together and sharing each other's skill sets and resources and being there for one another. So my reality is very different, and that's the case for all of us. We can all do that,
Yes.
but we do it together because it's the communities that we're social animals. We're
Right.
Homo sapiens are social animals. We're
Right.
not lone wolves. We're pack animals, and you know, by being isolated like this, the impact on your health, mentally, physically, spiritually, is devastating. So
Hmm.
we have to come together. We're, you know, we're losing those skill sets, the ability to heal ourselves, be in nature, forage, you know, all of those things. We didn't, we didn't need anything else when that's what we had and that's what we understood and that's how we lived. And we have to bring it back to that. You know, the next generations, this is survival, isn't it?
Well, yes, and while still being open to innovation and all the, one of the other things that's in my background is I started practicing energy psychology at least 20 years ago and realized that I'm working with people spiritually, I'm working with people physically, I'm working with them mentally, and I'm working with their energy.
Yeah,
And as we move into, you and I have talked a lot about Dr. Lisa Steele in the UK, who's really seeing a new profession emerging in the healing field where people recognize the fact that we are energetic beings, and that's what we need to be able to keep in good shape. It's not just the physical body, it's not even just the spirit, it's the whole thing. So the when we talk about holistic healing,
we really mean it.
we really mean it, like to be whole. Yes.
Absolutely. And that's a huge shift for people. I mean, this, you know, I'm glad you've mentioned Lisa because she's incredible. And it is a real shift in the paradigm of health care and what it means to be healthy. And, you know, I work quite closely with Lisa, and on our biggest goal there, you know, is that people don't need a health system
Right.
because they're all healthy, because they're learning. And the amazing thing about the work Lisa's doing is not just in the healing itself, but she's created an academy
Mm-hmm.
which can teach the young people of today to do that for themselves and bring that into their families. And that's when you don't need that system.
Right. And in the United States, we have the recently opened medical school in Arkansas that was started by Alice Walton, where she's giving people who want to go into medicine but are really discouraged by the current system another option.
Yeah,
And so
which is amazing.
she's created a medical community on the campus. So it's not your typical medical school. They
Yeah,
grow their own food, they exercise together. Their own health and wellness as practitioners is primary to their
yeah.
training. We want to know how you're keeping yourself healthy before you try to tell us how to stay healthy.
Absolutely. It's the old put your own oxygen mask on before you help those next to you, because exactly that. We have to lead by example, but also how can we help others if we're not fit to do so?
Right.
Definitely. No, that's great. That is brilliant. I love hearing that. It's the way forward. And that's it. That's doing it for ourselves.
Yes. Yes. Let's talk a little bit about what it takes to keep this movement going. Because as you said earlier, it's not just a few people in the admin that are going to make this happen. It's got to be a movement that's embraced by enough people to actually create these healing, healthy communities that we're talking about. So, what's Connect the Dots?
Oh, connect the dots is it's one of my favorites. It's a community action campaign that we launched last summer. Connect the dots is, obviously I'm in the UK, so when the idea was born, it was to create a dot on every village, town and city in the UK, that dot representing community groups. And underpinning those, the support foundation for those was our practitioner directory. So within these communities, we could signpost people to approved practitioners. So that was connect the dots. Let's get a dot on every place in the map and connect them. So creating those healthy communities. It's a very simple idea, and again, it comes back to the erosion of those third places. But Linda, how do we keep motivating people? The thing I've found, I mean, we launched that initiative at a festival in the summer last year, and the feedback was amazing. Very similar to when we launched PHA, and Pam Gregory did the interview, and it was it was amazing, the impact of that video internationally. And at that festival with Connect the Dots, I felt the same way, because people just got it straight away. It's very simple. We want to build healthy, connected communities across the UK and across the world. We're a global movement. It translates beautifully around the world. So yes, it was really well received. We set up a commitment card system within the Connect the Dots toolkit, if you like, where people could make a commitment to their community. They may not be ready right now, but they made a commitment. They wrote it down. They can now go on our website and fill in one digitally. But that's a commitment to themselves and to their community, that they recognise that it's important that we come together here. And I met people at that festival who signed those commitment cards. I've recently spoken to a lady that did that, and she was from South Wales, and she's now bought a plot of land. She's gathering like-minded people. They've got carpenters, they've got, they're building huts. They're going to live there together.
They're building an intentional community. Yeah.
And it's amazing when you realise that and the impact it has, and that's that ripple effect, isn't it? So I stay motivated through my conversations, my interactions with people, but I also know, because of Connect the Dots and talking to so many people and having amazing people like our community champions like Shirley, who also get out there into the communities, I've realised that people are motivated and they are doing it.
Right.
The missing part is the connecting them together. So if we can connect everybody, then we've got a really resilient force out there that's actually creating their own healthy communities and sharing ideas. And that's where I guess the digital side comes in, because we do have the platforms now to actually share. We don't have to stay just localized. We can share our ideas, our challenges, our resources, peer to peer. getting together with like-minded people. We can do all that with an online platform, which is what we're just about to. We're in a beta testing stage of launching an online platform, and that comes under the People's Community Network, so that we can keep connected. We can all talk. We can all share, we can all support each other. We have practitioners that can offer support to our community groups on there. And that can be a global platform. So yes, from thinking, wow, we're pushing this boulder and there's not many people, to the realization there are a lot of people. We know there's a lot of amazing organizations out there that are doing wonderful stuff, but suppose we all did it together. Suppose we stopped, okay, well, if you're doing education and you're doing it really well, we'll carry on with health, or let's look at care in the community. Somebody else can look at that. We're gathering the people and what resonates with them together.
Yeah.
And giving them the platform to connect and talk and look for those solutions.
Yeah. Similar to what you're saying, we'd really like to start an organizational directory and then have regular Zoom meetings with the people who they can inspire each other, so that, because just like, as you said, when we hear what someone's doing somewhere else, it gives us hope. It makes us want to continue to do this. It is happening. It's not that working on creating a different world. We're in a different world already, and we have to start to recognize that and bring ourselves to the table so that we can help each other. And we still feel isolated. We still feel as if we're all doing it, and in the United States, it's called rugged individualism. Pull yourself up by your bootstrap and do it on your own. In the United States and North America, we're looking for people to help us in any way that they would like to help us, but specifically, if there are practitioners out there who would like to be part of this movement and would like to submit articles to our newsletter, be chats on our video, be interviewed for our YouTube channel, we're very open to that. And likewise, we're open to organizations that would like to be part of what we're doing by also contributing to the newsletter, the video chats, the interviews, all of that, but who just really want to get involved. So what you said about community champions.
Got people there that are volunteering the time. They're community champions. They're doing it for the people. So they're everywhere, every walk of life. And I think we should be celebrating them for sure.
Right.
But I think you've had quite the struggle, as we talked about at the beginning. And don't get me wrong, it's not been easy for the UK. But I think what we've done more of is really talking to those people that can inspire others. And interviewing, going to events where we meet these people, sharing about them and the great work they're doing. And then it helps people to realize, I want to do that. And I've just listened to this interview with somebody that's doing it in their village, and wow, I can do that. And we can connect you, so you can chat and you can help each other, and that's how it happens. We as Homo sapiens are so powerful, so incredible, but we don't know it. We really can do anything. I mean, I was raised by a strong woman, and she raised my sister and I to believe that there's no such word as can't. You can do anything, and we can.
Right. And it's true what you're saying. Rupert Sheldrake has a word called morphogenic fields, where he talks about once something has been done or someone has done something, then it's in the field and it is easier to
And
do
it's
that.
doable.
We
It's
see that with
doable.
athletes all the time, every year. Right. But that's the world that we're living in now, and the one that we would like to promote.
Absolutely. There's no stopping us. But yes, we need to step into our power. We've all got it. We've all got it in us. Um, but
Right.
guess what? You're more powerful when you're with other people.
Right.
And it's so
Absolutely.
much more fun,
Right.
isn't it?
Right. So, in terms of for the People's Health Alliance in North America, there are plenty of opportunities to get involved, even if it's volunteering some time to go to an event and let people know about the People's Health Alliance. We're
And,
definitely
and and to tell you about their events.
right, and to tell us and to invite us to their events. If you're having an event
Absolutely.
or you're having a meeting and you want us to come and share, we're absolutely willing to do that. If people wanted to start to donate, maybe $15 a month, $144 annually, that's where it would go. That's, we're not trying to create paid positions. We're volunteers. We accept that as our
Yeah.
commitment, but
I
we need
mean,
to create media kits. We need to promote
exactly.
ourselves. We need to have web design. We need to.
Yeah.
There are things that need to be done that
Yeah.
require
It,
some financial
even
support.
even having a Zoom account,
Right.
it all adds up, doesn't it? So yeah, we're very similar in the UK. We have just one paid position, and that's the web guy, Mags is fantastic. He's not paid anything anywhere near what he's worth, but again, this is his passion. He has a purpose. We talked about Ikigai, didn't we, last time we spoke?
Mhm.
But, there's a lot of overheads involved in building that infrastructure, to be able to provide the platforms for people to have a voice, to spotlight them, to send out newsletters, etc., to do interviews. So absolutely, it's not a lot, but any little helps, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So, we have a opportunity to donate on our webpage, and we'd appreciate anything that people feel that they can give. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think it's really important to ask people, what do they want too?
Mhm.
You
Yes.
know?
Oh, very open to feedback.
Yeah,
One of the
absolutely.
beauties of this organization is not a hierarchy that you have to work through. It's, people to people. You get direct
Absolutely.
contact. If you contact us, we'll contact you back. And if you have ideas about how you would like to see this grow and evolve, we're open to ideas. I mean, we clearly have our own thoughts and our own goals for what we'd like to see happen, but we're not unwilling to listen to
Absolutely.
feedback. Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
one of the beauties of this is that it is this a lot of room for creativity and growth because there is no hierarchy that you have to
absolutely.
maneuver
Yeah,
through. Yeah.
yeah. No, it's boots on the ground. And, we need everybody's ideas, everybody's involvement in creating those solutions. But it comes, it will come. Um, you've come a long way, Linda.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
And you've
So
never given up, and it's just an absolutely wonderful testament to you that you didn't.
you said it earlier when you said that it gives us hope and inspiration for the future, that it keeps us going because it feeds us too, that when we see what people are able to do and when people share with each other their ideas, and you realize that we're all so much more alike than we may think we are, especially in North America. At this, it feeds your soul. It keeps you going. So, yes, I am very
Really.
tenacious about this. It's true, but I don't feel that that's without a lot of reward. I feel like I'm getting what you give and you receive.
Absolutely. There's a lot of joy in it, and that really is your purpose, isn't it? And seeing this, I mean, I'm being pulled a few different ways at the moment, and I've had to really, give a little bit less time at the moment to PHA, but I'm never walking away. And I think that's it, isn't it? I think we're very lucky to have found our passion.
Absolutely. That's well said. That I
Yeah,
think we're lucky to be able to do this. Um,
absolutely. So,
Thank you so much. Yes. Happy fourth anniversary. And we'll
happy almost third. And,
thank
and,
you.
um, and what's in your roadmap then for the next year?
I think the biggest thing is going to be really trying to see how we can connect with organizations like minded organizations in North America and let
Yeah.
them that we're very willing and open to collaborating.